Alright, I wanted to do a more focused video on the flat development area in Sheffield with the student flats. I'm at West Bar, on West Bar roundabout, where the old fire station was. And what I'm doing, showing you the flats down towards the River Don, I think, runs down there towards Hillsborough. See the flat development down there. I can zoom in on that. Trying something slightly different with my voice recording. I've also got my video recorder on a stand today, see if I can get a better or steadier shot. So I'm looking down towards the River down from West Bar there on Corporation Street. It's unrecognisable from 20 years ago. These are the new court buildings. There's even flats behind there. So Mitchell's and everything behind there, and various other flats. But I'm now going to point up towards Tenter Street. On the left hand side, that grey building, which is 13 stories high, was the old headquarters of HSBC or Midland Bank originally. Was the highest building around here with 13 stories, but if you look on the right hand side now with all that development, we used to be able to look out to the 5th floor of Block 3 in Griffin House and look right across to the ski village. Well, on the right hand side now, you're completely blocked off with all these new developments, and even beyond it now there's all big new flats. But I'm now going to walk into the actual flat area and give you a better perspective on it. But one bit, this would have took you down to Penistone Road. That was sort of the main Penistone Road, but it's been diverted now. So you can see Griffin House more clearly on the left hand side. First block, which is 13 stories high. Just ahead of Griffin House is Jubilee House. That did belong to Midland Bank originally, and then I think they got rid of it, or they were renting it. But there's the main Pennine Centre behind it. Block 1 at the front with 13 stories, then Block 2 behind that with 7 stories, and then Block 3, and then there's 4 and 5 behind that. So that was the original headquarters of HSBC, but just look at these massive flat complexes now on the other side. I'm just going to zoom in right up there, but all this big new development here. But I'm now going to walk down the side of the old West Bar Police Station. But I'm just going to show you another angle. So that's Griffin House. Blocks 1 to 5, Pennine Centre. closed down now, been turned into more flats. The new headquarters of HSBC is now about a quarter size of that. So how they squash people in. But I just wanted to show you that's the original West Bar police station. That belonged to Sheffield Constabulary, or it was rebuilt by them in the 1960s. As a modern headquarters for Sheffield Constabulary, and then got took over by South Yorkshire, who closed it down and turned it into, well, it's been turned into an hotel, Hampton Wick. So I'm now on Scotland Street. I really want to show you some of this new development. So look at size. I've struggled to get these actually on the camera. That's back up to Griffin, but that's all going to be flats. Now this was originally a industrial area, and it was also amazingly the red light district. Probably the prostitutes felt safer hanging around the back of the police station. Like I say, I struggle to get these new flats on. Built in the last 20 years. But I reckon there's been a development from Tenter Street and Broad Street 1 mile to the right, and then the area from here right up to the uni for about 2 miles. New student flats. You can see the crow in there. That's survived. But you can see the old type industrial buildings around here. And another pub's gone since last time. I think I've got it on a previous video. That's what's happening now. They've all been knocked down and they're building flats everywhere. But I'm right at the sort of bottom end of Tenter Street, West Bar, right up to Sheffield Uni. And we used to be able to park here back in '85. So this was a pub last time I came. I think it was just about here. Forgot its name. I think it's been shut down quite a few years. It was a Ward's pub, but that'll be just more flats. We've got another one here. Robert Neal was an old Sheffield company. That's been razed to the ground. You can imagine this was all industrial area. So we're right at the bottom periphery of it. But you can see another flat development here, Unite Students. What Nigel Farage was going on about was Chinese developers were buying up land cheap and then building flats on them. But I don't know how they're going to fill all these flats. So we're right at the bottom, sort of line at the bottom, and then we're just building flats up everywhere from here, all the way up to Sheffield Uni. This is a Chinese area. This was all very low sort of industrial buildings in the past. Anybody who hasn't worked around here for 20 years just wouldn't recognise it. Seems to be an awful lot of students around here as well. And this was all low-level industrial usage, and you can really see what's been happening around here. That wasn't a police station when I was parking around here. We used to park on this hill just here, or further afield. I was sort of letting the pictures talk for themselves. It's just not recognisable from 20 years ago. Park down here as well. This is a big parking area. Be impossible to park now for students, flats everywhere. I'm sort of heading back towards Tenter Street just to show you one area, and then I'm going to come back down towards where Footprint Tools was. I think there's still room for industry in the UK. I still think it can be highly profitable. We need to get rid of some of this health and safety rubbish. I worked in 80s steel industry. We always had a steel toe caps on, but helmets we had them under his arms most of the time. There's a church in the middle of here. This was all industrial usage around here. You could park on the church car park if you paid a small fee for the year. I think it was called St. Vincent's. Trouble is, once you've built all these flats on it, you can't go back to industry. This has all been, since the lockdown, this is all newly been demolished, so I'll come back down here in a few months with more high rise. I don't know if that's an archaeological dig or whether they're just working around something. More flats here, just everywhere. That's taking you back down. To 10th Street. I'm just wondering across here whether this is excavation, because they found some sort of Victorian archaeology or not. Just there's some brickwork. They're not just ripped it out. Looks like some sort of excavation as well. But I'm sort of heading up towards the Sheffield University. And you can just, like I said, all the way from West Bar, 10th Street and Broad Street. You'll see round the back of here a little bit of what's going on. I just go to this area and this was all small manufacturing companies, which was nice when I've been to work in the bank and walking through people, a bit more down to earth. That gives you a bit of an idea around there, just what's going off. Yeah, it is St Vincent's Church, there's a sign there. Church is never far away from money, are they, nowadays? The Archbishop of Canterbury was an ex-CEO of an oil company. I don't see him as a really spiritual person at all. I mean, they have tidied the area up. Yes, it looks tidier, but before it was probably making quite a bit of money through industrial use. And this is just what staggers me. This is the back end of where footprint tools were. And I used to drive up here from 10th Street in the car, over the top of here. And I think I'm in a different zone. I think I'm in the twilight zone. At the bottom is the Royal Oak Bakery. And if I just zoom down there, that'll take you right down to where Griffin House was, but that's all flats now. That's where footprint tools were. And same on the other side. Footprint tools went sort of across both sides of the road. So I'll just zoom right down there. You can see Griffin House right at the bottom. And flats all the way up. So I'm snaking my way up to Sheffield Uni, what I call the proper uni. The one that was a university before Hallam became a university. I just see most of these degrees as absolutely pointless. I think 10% of the people going to university should be going to university and studying good solid subjects, where the other 90% I think should be doing apprenticeships like we did, where you went to day release and went to a training centre. This is all new development. And this has sprung up even since the lockdown. There's a program called Good Night Sweetheart, and he goes back to the past, and he's been away a long time in the past, and then he somehow comes back to the present, and it's 20 years after, and it's just like that. There are some older flats in the middle of here, but this is all new. All new flats. See the scaffolding stuff in these buildings. You will find older flats, residential flats behind it. You can quite clearly see the difference between the original flats from the 60s. These are the sort of original flats, probably dating more like the 50s, those. But how they're going to fill all these flats up? We're going to have another mass influx. They're talking at the moment about sort of millions of people coming in from Hong Kong. Same down here, you can see old buildings like industrial buildings And what they've done is try to keep some of that character, which is good. A bit like they did at Kelham Island. So there is old and new blended in together down here. Like I say, I'm all for progress, but like Kelham Island progress, I think is quite good. Got a really good balance between old and new, but here still cold again. My hands are absolutely frozen. It's only going to be about 5 degrees today, but hopefully we're going to start to see a gradual improvement in temperatures. And next weekend I think they're talking about 10 degrees again. It's all new flats, this. All still got scaffolding on them. We're supposed to be in a lockdown where we're only doing essential work. I don't see building new student flats as being essential work when small businesses have been shut down. And I think like business owners probably only get 15% of the turnover. You've still got the bills to pay. It's alright for those on their 80%. But I couldn't survive on 80% if I was still working. Eighty percent ain't good enough. We did a few weeks of it back in the 1980s when I was in the steel industry as an apprentice. And only getting 85% of his wages when we got no houses. Still wasn't great. A week of it at Christmas was fine, but losing 15% of my money, no. I won't be happy with that. I can't understand why people stood back. So we're now approaching the university. Just want to show you St George's Church, which is well worth a look at. Just here, these big tall high rises of 60s which have been reclad. Probably got the same issues as they've got at Grenfell in London. That big strange square box is another university building. And everywhere you look round here, it's a university building with a sign on it. We're up towards Sheffield Uni now. This beautiful church, St George's, is now the psychology department for the uni. That's only second really to Cathedral in Sheffield. I think it looks nicer than Cathedral. Back down towards student flats. I don't know whether to like that building or not. I'd like to go inside it and see what it's like. But we're coming up to the main roundabout now on the ring road. And I'll just show you here the developments going on with the university. It seems like they're just buying all of Sheffield up. Where's the money coming from? Is it our tax money that they get? Or is it purely private investment? If you look on the buildings everywhere, you'll see the University of Sheffield logo. These original flats around here, these were here. But then that tall building at the back, that's modern flats. Then on the right hand side, you can see like grey flats, grey and white flats, then all modern flats around here. That tall building was originally the tallest building in Sheffield, the Art Tower. Then you've got 60s developments around here, reclad 60s. Nothing to do with the university, they're residential. Well, a lot of the housing was back to back in Sheffield, packed in from the industrial times, and then they put people into these high-rise flats. Well, to tell you the truth, I think I'd have rather been in a back-to-back house that had had a new roof and a new bathroom in it. You can see the modern development there, but really gives you an idea of the development going off around here.
We did a half.
So we're right on the ring road here. And then if you go beyond, that's up towards Sheffield Uni. I just want to try and show you something. See, like a modern castle there, that's the actual main sort of university buildings, the admin side. But all this area all around the roundabout is Sheffield Uni. So I thought that video would give you a better idea of the flat developments going in Sheffield for the uni. So they pay £9 grand a year for the tuition, which they're not getting at the moment. Then they're paying probably a further £6 grand a year for their actual living accommodation. And you can see, I think the students are just being seen as an income stream. Whether they're getting good value for money, I don't believe it. I think their education's quite poor compared with what would happen in the past, especially my apprenticeship. Absolutely fantastic, my apprenticeship. And that's why I did an apprenticeship rather than a degree. So I felt I came out with a better education, and that was back in the 80s. So hope you enjoyed that video. Any more suggestions for videos, just give me a shout.